if you moved in and out, and some of y'all still doing that, by the way, taping it. That's Miss So-and-so no longer live there. If you live in a tenement, this is the person lived there until you get a permanent piece to put up there. And, I'm a gorilla. I'm 14, 15. Daddy said, hey, boy. Sir, you bruising up was his word. You bruising up in here. It meant you was raising your voice. And, you wasn't supposed to raise your voice. He said, who name on that mailbox, boy? And I'm a junior. And so I said, Jethro C. Jaames. He said, you ain't even got a name, boy. In other words, you ain't got a house. You ain't even got a name. Your name came from me. Another time, I'm driving. I only got his car 3 times in life because the last time I got it, I got knocked out for coming home a few minutes late, and he had to go to work with his car, and he didn't want to hear.
Over you.
He didn't want to hear that I had a scholarship, but this was the second time, so this was good. And I'm getting ready to go. I got the keys. He said, hey, boy. And because they didn't have to call, if he called, hey, boy, all my brothers. Everybody turned around.
In the neighborhood.
Sir, he said, you leaving here. And Daddy couldn't even say belong. He was country. He said, belongs to me. I said, sir, he said, my name in my car. You bring them both back, just like they left here. He didn't want his car damaged, and he didn't want his name damaged. And we have lost that. I see young people, you don't know who I am. Who cares? Who cares? Yeah, who stop and think about what I'm saying. And this is not disrespectful. Look at the man or woman in the mirror. Who cares who you are? What have you done for anybody except take? What did you give somebody? What have you done that helps the neighborhood? What have you done that will help somebody?
Well, doesn't that go in accordance to obligation now?
Well,
you're obligated to do this for me.
According to the law of God. But the law of man, especially in this day and time, instead of moving the world toward a righteousness, self-righteousness, and I say this with many churches, I don't want to call names, but the church cannot be your club. No.
You got to speak on that there because you stepped on some toes.
Yeah, and I have no problem doing it.
You never do.
I've called out some bishops that are in an organization that I belong to. You dropping it like it's hot in the church. What reverence do you have for God? And maybe you don't fear God.
Speak of the dress is so tight they can't breathe.
Forget the dress so tight. It's when your neckline meets your waistline. And so, nice. I'm human. Got a beautiful wife and all of that good stuff. But I'm a man first. And so you flaunting it out. But what does it say about you? What does it say about you respecting yourself?
That's heavy.
What does it say about you respecting yourself?
And we're not talking about adolescents. We're talking about grown people.
Well,
grown.
How many?
Because the kids do what the parents do.
I'm a shit. And then we were told, and you heard this, you can't do what I do.
No, what about this?
You do what I say.
Ain't no kids in here. Get out of here.
Yes, sir.
Ain't no kids in here. Get out of here.
No. You see grown folk talking? And so we've lost a sense of respectability. My sister, they used to have back in the day, y'all, they used to have little socials, and they were a quarter, and you paid a quarter, you went to somebody's house. And basement parties. And, there were some songs like Stay in My Corner and Oh God. So, and all red or blue light bulb.
Strobe light, all that.
Strobe light, all of that. See, y'all think it's a new game. And anyhow, make a long story short, we're getting
Don't touch that furnace.
Yeah,
Get away from that.
Right. We getting ready, and don't go in the other room or in the closet. And so we're getting ready to go to this little quarter party. And back then, you know, my mother required that your skirt be at least on your knee. And so my sister had rolled the skirt up. Till we walking out the door. My mama said, excuse me, you been sewing? Because now her skirt is, you know, about here. And my mother tugged it, and she had rolled it up. Pew. My mother said, oh, you like to roll up clothes. Well, I got a bag of them in there. And it was a soda bottle with a sprinkler cap on and an iron. She said, you can roll up some clothes and you can iron them all night. You can go by yourself. So my sister started crying. Well, my father heard the girls cry. He's coming. He stuck his head out the window, out the door rather. And my sister standing there crying. And my mother pulled and the skirt came down. He said, she ain't going out here. My father turned around, went right on back in the room. And then my mother said something that I wound up telling my daughters. And my youngest daughter is like 40 now. She said, if you ain't selling, you don't advertise.
True. Now, speaking of that, excuse me, the fashions, the designers, it has altered so much to the European aspect that it just shows your complete silhouette, and most people of color are not straight up and down. So
right.
it really does a misjustice to you.
Right, and let me say this.
The men in particular.
Well, let me give you something about men in particular, the black male. Why do you have a belt and your pants only come here and the crack of your behind is out? Why?
The plumber pants.
Better yet, why when it's 85, 90 degrees, you got on boots?
Scully.
Why?
Hood.
Why? I mean, you can call it hood.
No,
but
no, the hood. The
oh,
hoodies.
yeah, the hoodies. This is stupid.
But television
Right.
advocates that.
Right, and because they're selling hoodies, but yet and still, let me take it further. You go Fairlawn, Hawthorne, Glen Rock, don't go to Upper Saddle River or Emerson or Wardell. How come the Caucasian kids, now they do dumb stuff too, but they ain't got on hoodies. They don't have Timbs on.
In 90-degree weather.
In 90-degree weather.
And not working construction.
And not working construction. And we don't understand that hyperthermia, heat exhaustion. You had all those clothes on.
Now I'm going to be the advocate to say we're wrong to speak of that there because you dress the way you want to dress. I want to hear your response.
You can, in your house, you can dress the way you want to dress, but you ought to be responsible and respectful enough not to do certain things in certain places. For example, I'm insulted because you got, or you have, correct me because I am educated, you have, but no, let me just be me. You got your crack of your behind out and your shorts might have your stains in them. I see more young people, they're gonna run from the police, but now you gotta grab you. You can't run, stupid. That's why you don't run in long pants. You're an athlete. I'm a former athlete. No. Since we talked about we daddy boys, boy, where you going with that shirt tail out?
You can't leave the house.
You ain't got no belt. You got some suspenders? You try to put suspenders on little kids. I've seen them fight their mothers, physically hit their mothers. 4, 5, 6. Not in Jethro's house.
Not in Mr. Hill's house neither.
No. Did you say Mr. Hill?
Goody wasn't having it. Mr. Hill wasn't having it.
And see, we were taught and trained. Scripture teaches, train up a child. If he's allowed to beat on his mama, what you think he gonna do to his girlfriend or his wife eventually? Right now, we're seeing so much abuse. But let me stay with the younger people. Y'all know that it was myself, along with the late Senator Rice, I took on Governor Murphy and legalizing marijuana, and you know it never got through the legislature. They put it on the ballot, y'all passed it. I sit on the community board of UMDJ Hospital. Do you know how many babies that are born with marijuana poison, edibles and whatnot? Do you all know? In our community, in the Latina community, who's gonna take care of those babies as they grow up? Because some of them, they are so brain damaged, they're never gonna live. They all in special ed. They all have behavior problems because you decided to smoke a joint. You selfish. And yeah, I said it, you selfish. What would you do that to your baby for? And you wondering why kids are like they are. You wondering why kids are like they are. And then I'm gonna call out the brothers. Where the daddies at? I had a young man come to me in law enforcement, make good money. She done took me downtown. She didn't put me in the system. And this was a few years back. She want all his money from me, Christmas, blah, blah. I said, that's your baby, right? Yeah. Did they change Christmas? I thought it was December 25th. Now I have a child, and my child should have, however you feel about Christmas, but my child should have at least a decent life. My child need clothes. I don't have to buy my child $150 sneakers. Mistake, mother and daddy. Well, everybody else wearing them. No. And you know the saying,
you heard something to work for.
Right. And you know the saying, I said, but mama, Poochie's mama let him go. If Poochie jump off the bridge, you gonna jump off the bridge too?
Poochie ain't your daddy.
Poochie ain't your mama and Poochie ain't your daddy. Or better yet,
I run this house.
Or better yet, when your daddy get home, I tell him that you got something to tell him. Pooch, you want to sponging all day, mama, whatever you do. Because these were black men that went through things. We don't have to lynch us no more. Because we do it to ourselves. You don't have to worry about the white man coming through, because young brothers killing young brothers and young sisters, fastest growing. And you know, you too, retired law enforcement. The largest growing population is the female population. Here, hold my gun, hold my drugs. So you do the 2-3 years. While I'm just gonna say, is screwing whoever, while he making some more babies, and you come out of a system into a system that is meant to keep you right where you are and gonna send you back to the system. Why y'all talking like this? We want to talk, you know, because Juneteenth deals with, they say freedom, but it was only a day that they told some slaves in Texas.
Galveston,
that y'all are free. They weren't free.
And told them late.
Right. Told them
late. We ain't giving
but you
nothing.
Still, but since we talking about that.
I'm not going to let you work. You can stay here.
Right.
But you can't go off this plantation and do nothing.
And you free. Well, let me give you this. New Jersey. One of the smallest landmass states in the lower 48, has over 1 million folks incarcerated. more than any other state in the lower 48. Why? Because we play dumb games with our children's lives. They don't like when I say this, but are we free? New Jersey, second largest slave port, Perth Amboy. New Jersey had one governor, Woodrow Wilson, who became president, card-carrying member of the Ku Klux Klan. That's why my daddy and your daddy called New Jersey up south. We didn't understand it. New Jersey, a slave state. New Jersey, and because I'm a chaplain with the state police, did not have, they started in 1921, but did not have one African American until